Hi there, hi dear YouTubers, marketers, product people, business owners, well, everyone who is into growing any business. Well, I know a lot of people like growing business. I know you are not the exception. So today we're going to continue talking about growth marketing, and this video is pretty much useful because it is made of our experience with growth hacking and growth marketing. Today I've got almost 20 insights with what we've been doing with growth hacking. Let me just share best practices with you and you can start implementing them straight after this video. Here we go. So first of all, we're going to start with the organization of the growth hacking process. And there are two very important things you should pay attention to. So first of all, of course, you're going to get to know the capacity of your growth team. I mean, how many hypos they are going to test throughout the sprint. So you remember that I told you about 15 hypos to test during a week, for example. But you can also test even more. So you can test as many hypos as you would like to, and this will help you understand the real capacity of your growth team. This will also show the bottlenecks in the processes and some dark patterns. Well, but again, the more hypos you test during a sprint, the better you understand your processes. But after that, you're going to understand what processes you're going to fix in order to perform even better. Next thing, growth team is never a part of any other team. Growth team is always a separate team that is only focusing on growth. So a growth team is only working on growth hacks, nothing else. Otherwise, there is going to be a mess, there is going to be complete misunderstanding between the teams, between the business processes, between the owners, and so on. Please don't let this situation happen in your company. I'm sure you're going to have a separate growth team dedicated to growth hacks only. Next point is about formulating the hypos. So this is also very much important during growth hacking. And the first thing I should pay attention to is you shouldn't focus on a very narrow segment. Just simply because you won't get enough information, enough data during a sprint to analyze. And if you're getting quite few of the data, it means you're going to have false result of the hypo. So, and it means you're going to test the hypo for an even longer period of time, like 3 months probably. Well, that is out of the growth hacking process. And again, you're going to opt for a larger audience, a larger segment to test your hypo on. For example, you're testing the conversion to sales call, to a demo call. So like initially, you know that your conversion to a sales call is 10%. Yeah, out of all the incoming traffic. And in case your incoming traffic is 1,000, you're going to have 100 calls. But in case an incoming traffic of a particular segment you're going to test is just 10 people, you're going to have only one sales call, which may be not very profitable for your company, and that is not about the unit economy at all. You're going to calculate what type of segment you're going to choose in order to get enough data. And of course, once you're formulating a hypo, you should be very careful about what step of the funnel it is about. So it should be very much close to the profit of the company. Like you shouldn't test something which is far away at the very beginning of the funnel. No, just test something which is very close to bringing profit to a company, because that is definitely the point of the revenue growth, right? For example, if you are trying to test the article views, that is really far away from the revenue increase. But if you are testing the sign-up increase, that is something closer to the revenue. So again, you're going to test the hypos that are very much close to the bottom of the funnel. Your growth team is going to communicate a lot with other teams, and communication plays a major role in growth hacking. So make sure that all the teams that are involved in the hypo testing are aware of the processes in every team. For example, your growth team is going to test the conversion to a sales call, right? So it means you're your sales team should be aware of it so that they have the capacity to handle all these sudden calls they're going to have. So they should be aware of it. Or in case growth marketing is managing some visuals with the help of a designer should also add some extra tasks to the sprint in order not to fail with other tasks, which is unacceptable. Few insights about content you're going to create for testing different hacks. Well, the very unexpected insight we got is about the quality of the visuals. You shouldn't pay a lot of attention to the quality of a visual you're going to throw into the ads on Instagram or Facebook. So the visuals can be really easy to make. So you can just take your phone, shoot a 10 seconds video while going by bus, for example, or you're probably going to compose something on the table, take a picture and use it as a picture for the ad. Well, the easier, the better. So just don't overload your designers. That is really expensive to create something with the help of a designer rather than creating something yourself. And that is going to work. Trust me, quality is not the very first thing you should pay attention to. Just pay attention to the sense, pay attention to the offer. And the offer is actually the next thing I'm going to tell you about. So the offer itself is much more important compared to the visual. Well, of course, visual is important, but the offer, the call to action, something you're going to play with, something you're going to iterate. So that is something you are going to focus on while preparing for the hypo testing. So just think about it and choose words really carefully. Well, in other words, you're going to create your own visual during 10 seconds probably, while a designer is going to spend around 4 hours on it. Well, of course, the time spent is incomparable, but the result is the same. So, of course, you're going to choose 10 seconds version rather than 4 hours of your designer. There is one more thing that worked very well for us. So we were praying for the static visuals, like some pictures, yeah? But we just tried to shoot a 10 seconds video and it worked much better compared to a static picture. Well, unfortunately, I cannot predict if that's going to be a winning strategy for your company, but you should try. So just try and see what conversion rates are better. Probably a picture or a video, but try all the possible ways. And speaking about videos, again, that is not something you're going to polish in terms of quality. So you can just easily take your phone and shoot a 10 seconds video on a selfie camera. And that's it. You should be focused on people. You should address people. People buy from people. So that is actually the next thing I'm going to tell you about. So previously, we were all about the stereotype that B2B is when companies purchase from companies. No, people buy from people. And any sales communication is happening between people, and communication is the king here. So don't forget about it while creating your videos, while creating your offers, and while creating your ads strategies. Well, selling to B2B might be a confusing task for some teams, but again, you can be pretty much creative here. For example, there was a hypo of our growth team about the calculation of costs for a B2B company. Initially, we understood pretty well that creating a special sort of calculator for managing all the costs and savings and all the metrics. So that calculator was pretty much expensive. Like, for example, 5 days of work of a few of the people. That is definitely out of the growth hacking, but what we did, initially we checked if that type of calculator is really interesting to the audience. So we created an offer with that calculator we were going to create actually, but we didn't have it. But we just checked if people are really interested in it or not. Well, all in all, they were interested in that, and we did create the calculator, but we just understood that the calculator was created not just because we were thinking about it, like, okay, that would be cool. It was really cool, but we got sort of insurance that that was worthy. And finally, you're going to measure the efficiency of your growth team. Well, if your growth team is 100% successful, if all of the hypos are successful, if all of the hypos work out, that is unfortunately a very bad sign. It means they are not risky, they are not curious, they are not trying to invent something new, they are not creative, sorry to say. Well, that means your growth team is just going the previous ways and they are not thinking out of the box. So that is actually a point for you to start asking a few of the questions to the growth team. Let them make mistakes. The success of the growth hacking team is not only about winning, it is also about losing. Because losing shows you where you shouldn't go to. And that kills all the backlog that may be really huge. But you understand, oh, I know that's not going to work, so your backlog shortens to this number of tasks. Oh my god, that was a lot of information to share with you, and it took us about a year to collect this information. So please shoot the comments here under this video with your hacks. Probably something you already tried, or you started thinking about and you're going to implement, or maybe you are already working on something. Please don't be shy, share your comments and share this video with those people who are about to start growth hacking. See you in the next videos. Bye!